Hey everybody, I'm here with another example for multiplying decimals times decimals or decimals by decimals, and I wanted to look at a different example. Here's the one we did in an earlier video. I wanted to look at an example like this where there's some zeros involved, and I want students to remember that basic rules of multiplication still apply. So we could look at this as 3.24 times 0.008, or we could look at this at 0.008 times 3.24. Okay, it does not change our answer because of the rules of multiplication. It's the same thing as you would get if you had 3 times 2 is 6 and 2 times 3 is also 6. It's a property of multiplication, and it is true with decimals. So students, sometimes when we move over to writing this vertically, they struggle with how to write that. Which number should I put on top? Which number should I put on the bottom? And it doesn't really matter. I like to, when I'm setting this up and I have one that's like this, I like to put the number that has the most place value places that are showing, or the most digits showing. I like to put that one on top. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 digits in this one and 3 digits in this one. So for me, I would probably set this up as 0.08 times 3.24 this way. It's just a little bit easier for me in the way that I think if I set it up like that. Remember, in multiplying decimals, we do not need to line up decimal points like we do when we add and subtract decimals. But we could, we do need to line up the digits along the right side here, okay? If we wanted to, and we will, if we wanted to solve this same problem the other way, some students are just dead set on if this comes first, they want it on the top, and that's fine. They can do it that way, but we want to make sure that we do it correctly. So I'm going to do both of them to show you how we get the same answer. All right, let's start with this one here. We're multiplying 4 times 8. So we're going to start here. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 0 is 0 plus our 3. So 3 there. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 again is 0. We're finished with the 4, which means we're done with this first number that we carried up here. We are moving over to this digit, so we are going to use a placeholder 0 for our next partial product down here. We're ready to do 2 times 8, which is 16. Carry our 1. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 again is 0. We're finished with this digit and this. So now we need 2 placeholder zeros, regular, just like regular multiplication would be. We're ignoring those decimal points until we're finished. So here we go. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 3 times 0 is 0, and 3 times 0 is 0. We've got, we're finished now with that. We have our partial products for 4 times everything, our partial products for 2 times everything, and our partial products for 3 times everything. Students got confused today with this. They wanted to stop here, so we had to remind them that we've got to do all of the digits. We have to do multiplication by all of the digits, so we needed that third partial product, or that third row. So we're ready to add. We get 2, 9, 5, 2, 0, and 0, and they're usually going to ask, well, do I need to write the zeros? Yes, you do, because I think we're going to need them in our answer. So let's look at how we shifted these over. 1, 2, 3. That's what allowed us to multiply it just like a regular multiplication problem. So 3 decimal places in the top number plus 2 decimal places in the bottom number. That's a total of 5 decimal places, which in the earlier video you saw how I set this up to remind us that we needed to shift it in our answer 5 decimal places. So we move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we find out we did need those zeros because we needed to move the decimal 5 places. So we treated this like 8 times 324 because we moved those over and then we put them back for our official answer. So to answer that question, we now know that 3.24 times 0.008 is 0.02592. If we had have estimated before, we should be kind of on the right track as far as what our answer is. We had a number right here, 0.008, which is, if we round that, rounds to 0. It's really not even close to 1 at all. It's much closer to 0. 3.24 is close to 3, and our estimation of 3 times 0 is 0. And we look at our answer, obviously we're on the right track. We don't have any whole numbers. We don't even have any tenths. We're way over here into the hundredths and thousandths for our answer. So we have a very small number, which is very close to this estimation that I showed in the earlier video of doing this before you start your multiplication. So students can kind of drop this estimation part once they feel a little bit more comfortable, but it is a fantastic way to know if you've put your decimal back in the right place, because obviously if you had made a mistake and had put it, over here, 25.92, 25 is not even close to 0. So we could have gone back and said, oh, our decimal place needs to be in another spot because our number is not close to 0. So the estimation part is a great tool to help. All right, and then just to prove the point, in this one right here, we're going to get the same answer. Let's see if we do. 4 times 8, 32. 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. We're finished with the 8. We're finished with these, so we can use our placeholder 0, and then we find out real quick we're going to get 0, 0, 0. We're going to use more placeholder zeros. We're going to get 0, 0, 0. And if we continue this, we're going to get 3 placeholder zeros, and we're going to get 0, 0, 0, because obviously 0 times 0 is 0. So students will probably pick up pretty quick that they don't even really have to finish these, because it's going to give us all zeros, which is going to leave us at 2,592. But we've got to remember about those zeros over there. We shifted it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that same number of decimal places that we shifted it here were the same number that we shifted it here. So we go to place that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we talked about today in class that you have to annex zeros. If you've got a place value here, annex means add. So we've got to annex zeros here so that our decimal point can be in the place that it's supposed to be in. So just wanted you to see, it doesn't matter the order that you multiply them, you'll still get the same answer. And if you will use this grid paper, or you will use notebook paper turned sideways for those blue lines, it will really improve your math, because you're much more organized and you make less mistakes. So I hope this helps you. Every homework problem tonight is just a multiplication of a decimal times another decimal, and this strategy works with all of them. Thanks a lot.